Hey y'all. Hey y'all. We are back for Deuteronomy chapter 18 and 19. If you're reading along, let me know. Let me also know which version of scripture you're reading. I'm reading from NLT. If you just happen to pop in on chapter 18 and 19, I'm reading the NLT version of scripture. Let's go ahead and get into it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for reading along. And let's go. Deuteronomy 18, gifts for the priests and Levites. Remember that the Levitical priests, that is, the whole of the tribe of Levi, will receive no allotment of land among the other tribes in Israel. Instead, the priests and Levites will eat from the special gifts given to the Lord, for that is their share. They will have no land of their own among the Israelites. The Lord himself is their special possession, just as he promised them. These are the parts the priests may claim as their share from the cattle, sheep, and goats that the people bring as offerings: the shoulder, the cheeks, and the stomach. You must also give to the priest the first share of grain, the new wine, the olive oil, and the wool at shearing time. For the Lord your God chose the tribe of Levi out of all the tribes to minister to the Lord's name forever. Suppose a Levite chooses to move from his town in Israel, wherever he is living, to the place the Lord chooses for worship. He may minister there in the name of the Lord his God, just like all his fellow Levites who are serving the Lord there. He may eat his share of the sacrifices and offerings, even if he also receives support from his family. A call to living holy. Verse 9. When you enter the land the Lord your God has given you, be very careful not to imitate the detestable customs of the nations living there. For example, never sacrifice your son or daughter as a burnt offering, and do not let your people practice fortune telling, or use sorcery, or interpret omens, or engage in witchcraft, or cast spells, or function as mediums or psychics, or call forth the spirit of the dead. Anyone who does these things is detestable detestable to the Lord. It is because the other nations have done these detestable things that the Lord your God will drive them out ahead of you. But you must be blameless before the Lord your God. The nations you are about to displace consult sorcerers and fortune tellers, but the Lord your God forbids you to do such things. True and false prophets. Verse 15. Moses continued, the Lord your God will raise up for you a prophet like me from among your fellow Israelites. You must listen to him, for this is what you yourselves requested of the Lord your God when you were assembled at Mount Sinai. You said, don't let us hear the voice of the Lord our God anymore, or see this blazing fire, for we would die. Then the Lord said to me, what they have said is right. I will raise up a prophet like you from among their fellow Israelites. I will put my words in his mouth, and he will tell the people everything I command him. I will personally deal with anyone who would not listen to the messages the prophet proclaims on my behalf. But any prophet who falsely claims to speak in my name, or who speaks in the name of another god, little g, must die. But you may wonder, how will we know whether or not a prophecy is from the Lord? If the prophet speaks in the Lord's name, but his prediction does not happen or come true, you will know that the Lord did not give that message. That prophet has spoken without my authority and need to be feared, and need not be feared. Let me read that last verse again, because you need to hear that. That prophet has spoken without my authority and need not be feared. That was Deuteronomy chapter 8. Let me plug in my computer because the battery is very low. 1 second. Listen to this music while you wait. All of my life, I never known you to fail. You remain the same man. Wonderful is your name. Ooh. Name. All right, we're back. Thank you for listening. Deuteronomy 19. Cities of refuge. We're plugged in. Yeah, we're plugged in. Cities of refuge. Verse 1. Deuteronomy 19. When the Lord your God destroys the nations whose land he has given you, you will take over their land and settle in their towns and homes. Then you must set apart 3 cities of refuge in the land the Lord your God has given you. Survey the territory and divide the land the Lord your God has given you into 3 districts, with one of these cities in each district. Then anyone who has killed someone can flee to one of the cities of refuge for safety. Verse 4, if someone kills another person unintentionally without previous hostility, the slayer may flee to any of these cities to live in safety. For example, suppose someone goes into the forest with a neighbor to cut wood, and suppose one of them swings an axe and chop down a tree, and the axe head flies off the handle, killing the other person. In such cases, the slayer may flee to one of the cities of refuge to live in safety. If the distance to the nearest city of refuge is too far, an enraged avenger might be able to chase down and kill the person who caused the death. Then the slayer would die unfairly, since he had never shown hostility towards the person who died. That is why I am commanding you to set aside 3 cities of refuge, and let the Lord your God enlarges your territory. Verse 8, and if the Lord your God enlarges your territory, as he swore to your ancestors, and gives you all the land he promised them, you must designate 3 additional cities of refuge. He will give you this land if you are careful to obey all the commands I have given you. If you always love the Lord your God and walk in his ways, that way you will prevent the death of innocent people in the land the Lord your God has given you as your special possession. You will not be held responsible for the death of innocent people. But suppose someone is hostile toward a neighbor and deliberately ambushes and murders him and then flees to one of the cities of refuge. In that case, the elders of the murderer's hometown must send agents to the city of refuge to bring him back and hand him over to the dead person's avenger to be put to death. Do not feel sorry for that murderer. Purge from Israel the guilt of murdering innocent people. Then all will go well with you. Concern for justice. Verse 14. When you arrive in the land the Lord your God has given you as your special possession, you must never steal anyone's land by moving the boundary marks your ancestors set up to mark their property. You must not convict anyone of a crime on the testimony of only one witness. The facts of the case must be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. If a malicious witness comes forward and accuses someone of a crime, then both the accusers or accused must appear before the Lord by coming to the priest and judges in office at that time. The judge must investigate the case thoroughly. If the accuser has brought false charges against his fellow Israelite, you must impose on the accuser the sentence he intended for the other person. In this way, you will purge such evil from among you. Then the rest of the people will hear about it and be afraid to do such an evil thing. You must show no pity for the guilty. Your rule should be life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, and foot for foot. Last verse again, one more time. You must show no pity for the guilty. Your rule should be life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, and foot for foot. And that was Deuteronomy chapter 19. Now, I think I was saying this word wrong. Hold on one second. I'm not sure if it was Avenger or Avenger. I think I was saying it right. Avenger. Avenger. I did say Avengers, but I was like, Avenger name wouldn't be in scripture, but it's there. So how you say Avenger? Hey Google, spell Avenger.
Avenger is spelled A-V-E-N.
Well, I thought that was two separate words, Avenger and Avenger. I said it right. I said it right. I said it right. I said it right. All right, y'all. See y'all on tomorrow. We'll be on Deuteronomy 20 and 21. We're winding down. And we're almost done with the challenge. See y'all tomorrow.